and welcome to Astrology for Healing. I am Ev Zervadakis, and I'm here to talk about the first house in astrology. The first house is the beginning, and thank you for following, and I thank you for your wonderful comments and telling me how much you enjoy the presentations. Again, I'm going to let you know that my expertise is doing astrology readings. I also love teaching the astrology, and we're getting some of the platforms ready to teach the course. And I'm also working on a development circle or group so people can learn how the psychic world and intuitive world works, because I have those two woven talents, the astrology and the intuition. So I'd love to speak more on that later, but right now we're going to focus on the first house. The first house, I'm going to list some keywords, but the first thing is what the house means and where it's placed. Remember, the astrology chart is taking the picture of the sky the moment that you were born with the planets and everything, and the interpretation of that photograph. So the first house would be your personality, what your body looks like, your appearance, the mask that you wear. It's when you were just born. Um, it's also I, me, who I am. It's also the house of Aries and Aries ruling planet Mars. So the house, the sign, and the planet, Aries, first house, and Mars have a similar energy. It's that assertive energy. Think of a seed that's been in the ground and all of a sudden it pops through and it starts opening up. That's spring. So Aries is uh, it's a sign during spring. It's when spring starts, the spring equinox. Also, the the house, the first house, is one of the most important houses, along with the fourth, seventh, and 10th house. We're going to focus on the first house. It's also where you see self confidence, if you are looking for vitality, aspirations, independence, what kind of physical energy. Um, it's also our disguise, how we appear to the other people. It may not be exactly who we are. So you're going to say, well, wait a minute, but I'm a Leo and my first house has a different sign. That's right. So those are just two components. And remember, how many signs do we have? 12. How many houses do we have? 12. How many planets, luminaries do we have? 12. So there are many, many factors that go into play when we interpret the whole astrological wheel. So when we look at the first house, we're looking at everything that relates to your personality or how you appear to other people. It may not be exactly who you are. So the sun, if you're a Leo, if the sun is in Leo, then that means that's where you shine. And that's what you know best. However, if your sun is not in the first house, and let's say Scorpio is your first house, then that means that you portray features of a Scorpio. So people may see you as intense, as passionate, a good detective, someone very sensitive and reserved, could be very cutting, hard to get to know, and maybe a control freak. So we could go around the wheel and say, well, supposing um, first house has Aries in it, then you would show all the qualities of Aries. And you could go back to my other videos that talk about Aries. But Aries would be a go getter, very intelligent, someone that's not afraid to start something new. And so whatever sign is on the first house would portray your personality, the way you appear, and the flavor of your personality. And you could break it down too. Always remember to look at the modalities and the elements. And we talked about that in another video. So go back to those videos, and you could go on the YouTube channel that I have, and it's called Holistic Healing Astrology. Always feel free to email me or text me or message me on Facebook, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Usually within a 24-hour period, I like to get back to y'all because these videos are for you. And if you know anyone that wants an astrological reading, please feel free to tell them who I am and go ahead and share this short video with anyone that may be interested in astrology. So, the other areas of the first house is what your role and your feeling is about life. So, if the first house is Taurus, you're more of a steady, strong, solid uh, person, and you favor on the materialistic side. And you could go all around the chart and look at what the first house shows you on the wheel and the descriptions of it. Also, you want to look and see if there are any planets in the first house. So let's say you have a personal planet in the first house. That would be more intense than, actually, I'm going to correct myself. Any planet in the first house needs to be looked at because that's part of your personality. So let's say you have the sun in the first house. Well, that means that your personality and your sign and your ascendant are all the same sign. So that means you're more magnified. So, for example, let's take Aries. That would be a triple flavor. It would be super strong Aries because the first house is related to Aries, and the first house planet would be Mars. So if your sun is in the first house, that means you shine in an Aries type energy. And if your sign Aries is in the first house, now it's like a double Aries or a triple Aries because the natural wheel, the first house is Aries. I hope that makes sense to you. But if it doesn't, just give me a comment. And always, always let me know who you are, what you'd like to see in upcoming videos. I really like to make them interactive, but as time goes on, they'll be more and more interactive. So I thank you again for joining me. Remember how to get in touch with me. So you look at the planets in the first house and the sign in the first house, and that will tell you all about your personality. The next video that's going to be coming up will be on the second house. So have a great day, be safe, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.